My whole life I've been interested in sports. Would bike, swim and run with my dad. And I started to go to the gym as a teenager. But in 2013 was when I found CrossFit while watching the CrossFit games on the internet and started to play around with some exercises. My name is Alex Elebro and I'm a 27-year-old professional CrossFit athlete from north of Sweden. And like every athlete, I need to be thoughtful with what I eat and how I train. My body is my job and I have to give it the best possible. So that's why I use Lifesum, to make sure I'm eating what my body needs to perform the best way possible so I can reach my goals. I started CrossFit about 6-7 years ago now, and I have to admit that in the beginning I wasn't sure how important nutrition was to both build muscles and to perform, because this sport is all about performance. I used to eat what I wanted, the way I wanted it, and the time I wanted. It worked out until a certain level. I won a few competitions here and there, but a couple of months ago I could see the result of a proper diet plan since I participated in a CrossFit competition called CrossFit Lowland Throwdown, and my team won. That gave me the opportunity to compete in the World Championship called the CrossFit Games. And it happened in August this year in Wisconsin, US. It's my third time competing in the World Championship. All that was possible because beside my training and experience, the past 6 months I've started counting my macros, eating the right amount and choosing better what I eat, and also timing my meals. Lifesum was a huge part of this journey. When you have a tool to help you count, it gets so much easier to reach your goals. One day in my life when I'm preparing for a competition is filled with heavy training and nutritious foods. I always plan my meals according to my training, which means that if I have only like weightlifting or gymnastic or easy training, my nutrition goes along with that, which means that my intake, especially carb intake, is a bit lower. But when I have more intense and hard workouts, I do the same with my nutrition. I tend to higher the volume of carbs, because carbs is super important for me to perform during training. The majority of my weekdays include 2 separate workouts, which means some challenges, both practical ones and for recovery and performance. I eat whatever I want, but I'm doing it with reasonable macros and food quality in mind. So good and nutritious stuff every day for sure. But I also drink and eat typical refined fast carbs, which makes it possible for me to meet my daily need. And part of these calories I'm drinking includes refined proteins such as regular whey. After all, most of my days I'm aiming for 2.5 grams of protein per kilo body weight. And regarding the carbs, this is well above 500 grams for some days, even though I'm cutting. So when I look at my meals throughout the days, I would say that I eat around 4 or 5 big meals. So at breakfast I focus on eating a lot of carbs and protein, because I used to train after breakfast and then I go to my training. And the same goes with the lunch, a lot of protein but mostly carbs. And then I do another session and eat something after that session. And then when I come home for dinner, I tend to add a bit more fat and a bit more fibers to fill all my macros. But I try to not focus too much to have a specific plan to make it too stressful throughout the day. It's more like I have a plan for my main meals, and if I still have some macros I need to fill, I just find something that I need to eat on the side. I used to eat my last meal around 2 hours before bedtime. The final one is high in slow-acting proteins, usually some casein-rich source, such as quark or cottage cheese, with some nice tasting carbs and fat sources added to that. I find it quite hard to eat a lot of carbs in the evening, because my head can be tired, but my body gets like energized if I eat a lot of carbs in the evening. So then it's perfect to eat more like quark and nuts and fat and protein, because it doesn't give you a lot of energy. It's more making you full. So that's perfect for me. Sunday is my day off. Besides chilling and spending as much time as possible with my girlfriend and dog, a rest day for me means some more time for experimentation in the kitchen along with Lifesum. So yeah, that's the day when most of the cooking magic happens, so well as the funny failure, I guess. So when I'm kind of off season, I feel that it's okay for me to go out and eat dinner in restaurants and relax a bit more. But when getting closer to competitions, it feels that it's more important for me to stick to a strict diet plan to get the most out of my nutrition. It's exactly the same with the training. I try to find a peak so I can perform as good as possible when it comes to the competition. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure to drop a few questions down here if you have any questions, and I will help you answer them. And follow Alexander Elebro on Instagram, of course. There where I used to hang out when I'm not training or eating. And last but not least, make sure to subscribe and follow Lifesum on YouTube and of course on Instagram.